Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our NUS Business School e-Open House. And today we have our final session in this AM program, but now instead of talking about our careers, degrees and everything, we are going back to our roots and really finding out about our students, right? So today I have two students over with me, a year 4 business student going to graduate, and also an alumni. Just 2 months old, but still coming back and still want to give this speech to you guys. So I'm Rainice and Yi-Chen. So maybe Rainice can introduce yourself first.
Hi everyone, I'm Rainice. Currently a year 4 NUS business student. I'm doing a double degree in business and econs, and I'm also working on my startup idea, which I can share more later. Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Yi-Chen. I actually just graduated 2 months ago. Had a great time in NUS for the past 4.5 years. So looking forward to speaking to you and answering all your questions.
Yeah, and finally it's me again, year 4 business student specializing in finance. Also same batch as Yi-Chen and Rainice, and here really very excited to answer all your questions. So here again, if you have any burning questions or anything, I realize some of you have been sending the questions more privately, but just sending out to public so everyone can also learn at the same time, and also if you have any questions, people can learn at the same time. We can consolidate the thoughts so we don't have repeated questions also. So just shoot your questions out, and I'll be sure to look at your questions here and answer them if you want it. Okay? So maybe just to go to our first questions to understand more about our students over here. So how has your journey been like in NUS business for your 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, whatever years you have been? Maybe Rainice, you can start first.
So I actually had a lot of opportunities from NUS Business School. So in my 4 years of university, I actually studied in 4 different cities in the world, and I went to 4 different universities. So in year 1, I was an NUS business student. I joined a lot of school activities. I stayed in the campus. I stayed in Shears Hall, and then I joined a lot of NUS business activities and programs, running orientation camps. And then in year 2, I actually went to Taiwan for my exchange program for 1 semester. So I was there for about 4.5 months. And then I went to London for a month of summer program at Imperial College in London. And then recently, I also went to Shanghai for a 1-year-long NOC program, the NUS Overseas College. So right now, I'm back in my final semester, and I'm working on my startup idea, matchup.sg, to help students actually plan their internship careers and their, have a more targeted career path. Yeah.
Yi-Chen?
Great, I think there's some similarities there, but also quite a bit different. So I started in year 1 actually doing what we call the NUS BIZ Club, or the NUS Students Business Club. That is actually like a ramped up version of council that you will see in JC or Poly. So that is where actually I spent a lot of my time for the first 2 years of university life. I also stayed on campus in Residential College 4, RC4, and that is in University Town. Great experience, great place to stay. You can check that out too. And then I took 1 semester off of school to do an internship in consulting. And then I went overseas to a very cold place up in the Nordics, Sweden, on the NUS Overseas College program for a full-time internship and part-time studies as well. So I came back, had my go at trying to run my own startup. It's called VIA, and now I am graduated.
Yeah, so here we have 2 very passionate entrepreneurs, to be honest. So they have went to a lot of different pathways. Some has went to NUS Student Business Club, some have stayed on campus, Shears Hall also, and I myself have also had this like diversity of choices that I could pick from. I could stay on campus, I could apply for clubs, and also ultimately still give back to the school in life. So maybe just to take 1 step back to understand your perspective of what you have behind your computers. Why did you actually pick NUS Business and Accounting? Because I'm sure a lot of them are still struggling between, should I go for computing, that's the up and rising thing, or should I go for business, or should I still go to medicine or this kind of thing? Like, why did you pick NUS Business? Ready?
So for me, it was really because since young, I really have this like passion for business. So I always wanted to kind of try out my own thing, start my own business. So from young, I have many small business ideas. So I thought that NUS Business School would be a very good platform for me to further develop these ideas, learn some skills along the way, so that I can eventually, do something of my own. Yeah, so that was one of the reasons why I picked NUS Business School. Of course, the other reason was I went for NUS open house. I went to read up a lot online, watch videos like what we are doing now. I hear from alumni, and I saw that they have very exciting life at NUS Business School. I saw that they have a lot of opportunities to go on, not just global programs, but even locally in Singapore. There are a lot of student activities, and I really wanted to be part of the student life here. So that was why I chose to come here.
Well, how I found my way to NUS business is slightly different from yours because Rainey sounds like she has it, figured it out. She wants to start her own company. I think for me, and like some of you out there, when you're trying to find, what university to go into, which school you want to go into, what faculty, a lot of times we don't know. Back then, I didn't know what I really wanted to do. So there was quite a few options in front of me, like medicine, computing, business, right? And what I really thought about when I looked at it was actually two things. Now, the first one is about my personality and who I am. And the second one, while I may not know what I want to do, maybe a little bit about my potential aspirations and what I might be interested in as a career or as a journey. So personally, I like to meet a lot of new people. The second reason that I actually also thought about was actually in terms of aspirations, right? Well, I'm not sure what exactly I wanted to do. Do I want to be an entrepreneur, a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever? I'm not sure. But what I knew for sure was that I want to end up working in a place that is fast changing, that is extremely dynamic, always getting new projects, new work, finding new problems to solve. And I think business school was able to give me that. Actually, on hindsight, I made the right choice because business school really gives you that ability for you to always face new challenges and get into an education that is also practical, that is applicable to what you're going to do when you graduate. So yeah, that's what brought me to business school.
Thank you, Chen. Renice, you
I
want
wanted
to
to add on. So about his first point, that was also what made me come here because I heard that NUS Business School, have like lecture tutorial style as well as seminar style. So I wanted to really build up about my presentation skills, my speaking skills, because I like to talk to people. But I don't know what's the most professional way to go about doing that.
Yeah.
So I think coming here actually helped me train up a lot as well.
Yeah, wow, interesting perspectives that we have from both of them, right? One had really all planned out from the start, business school, entrepreneur. Yichen, on the other hand, was really more dynamic and flexible in terms of like getting the experience and also adapting accordingly. I think for myself, I'm more backward, historical. Yeah, so yeah, that's why three of us picked. And maybe I'll just hop on to the next question here, right? I have one quite interesting question, but they might have an underlying assumption there. First question is more of like, what's the difference you think between NOC, summer program, and finally exchange programs? And I think the question that this this person wanted to ask is, how do I actually plan and choose which one I want to do? Because I think we mentioned we have so many options. We can hall campus, we can stay in residential college, we have exchange program, internships. How do we plan, right? And how did you plan it, right? So it's kind of like two-part question if you want. So maybe I can start with Yichen first. Maybe Yichen, you can talk about like the differences of what you think is.
So I think rightly pointed out, right? A lot of times, you may be asking questions now what you can do in university, but I think the bigger question is, once you get here, there's a lot of things you might be interested in. So how do you plan, right? Yeah. I think personally, I would say, plan for yourself. Because a lot of times you will have a lot of other voices telling you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And lastly, do I go on NOC, right, which is 1 year? And when I thought about that, I thought that, okay, there's a lot of options for me, but number one, I wanted to be overseas for a little bit longer, right, for a more extended period of time, because as a person, I generally really enjoy being immersed in different cultures, different environments, staying in a place for a longer period of time and understanding the place better. So, okay, so that narrows me down to exchange program or NOC. And then I really thought about it, right? During, like I said, when I actually came into NUS Business School, I did not really know what I wanted to do. But over time, I realized I was getting very interested in innovation, in entrepreneurship, in problem solving. So that is when I thought, okay, if I can get an opportunity to work overseas for 1 full year to really understand how people of a different culture work, a different work environment, that will be extremely interesting and beneficial for my personal growth, whether I want to be an entrepreneur or not. Yeah. And it's just good experience. So that's how I actually eventually, based on my own interests, my own personality, I decided to go on NOC for a year.
Okay, thanks, Yichen. What about yourself, Renice?
So for me, I actually went on all kinds of programs, short term to mid term to long term.
Fantastic person to choose. Fantastic question.
But what I say is that while planning starts very early, so I was a typical, more kiasu student. In year one, I actually went to read up a lot about my module requirements, and I really understand my curriculum because I'm doing a double degree in business and economics. So with module mapping wise, you might think like you might be struggling a bit, but it's no worries. The office people are very friendly, so just email them and just ask them. So I really check out my modules well. I planned from year one. But I would say that even though I planned to actually go for exchange program and summer program, I didn't think of NOC. So in year one, I thought that I couldn't go on NOC. I'm a double degree student. I have so many modules to clear. How could I possibly go on another 1 year long program? But I think the important thing is to keep your mind open, keep your options open. So the idea of NOC only came about when I was in my year 2, and my friend actually applied for the program. And my friend had very good experience and recommended to me, you should also go for this program. But I was like, I'm really going for exchange. How can I do both? So I actually went to do a lot of checks with the office. I went to read up a lot about my modules and really plan out my module planning. And eventually I realized that I could actually like clear it and map it in 4 years. So I got the opportunity to also go. Yeah, so I think keep an open mind. That's important.
When you can't choose, do everything.
And we have a fantastic planner over here really doing all her research, right? So if you can see both of these responses, right, they come from different perspectives. Each one comes from the more internal perspective, finding out about what I really want to do, and if I don't like it, how do I change and adapt it. Rainey's perspective is more of like the more external perspective. I'm going to do all my research together. And I think that's something that, let's say, like yourself, when you're picking your university, your degree, you can also choose. First step one is to just really ask yourself, what do you really want to do and what do you really like? Go and look at your past experiences, what you're more passionate for, and then also do your research about what the university and also the degree offers, and try and match it up together. Once you have like the most number of matches, and that should be the ultimate kind of choice that you should make. And and I think we have talked a lot about different kind of like internship programs, NOC programs, right? But what is that one thing that is really the most memorable for you? Because once you have that one thing, it might be the thing that actually tilts our candidates over now. Yeah, what's that one thing? What's that one thing?
Wow.
Okay, Rainice.
Tough question. Let me think a bit. That one thing. Do you have an answer?
Okay.
Yeah, I think
They have too many things to think about.
That's
why
right.
this is really a first world problem. You know, too many things to even choose one.
Yeah.
So yes, Yi-Chen.
So I had a few things in mind, right? I think I spent two great years in the student council equivalent in business school. I had a great time overseas. I had a great time, trying to do a startup while in school. But I think the one thing that really I enjoyed the most was actually my memorable year in Sweden, right? On a few different levels, right? The first level is that personally, like I said, I really enjoy being in different places for a long period of time. So understanding the vastly different culture in Sweden, the Swedish people and how they work there, that was extremely exciting to me. But I think beyond that, the year in Sweden actually allowed me to discover my interests, that I'm truly interested and very, very passionate about business problem solving and about innovation. And that is actually what steered me towards what I've decided on now, a career into consulting and eventually entrepreneurship. So that actually helped me to steer and define my goals. So it was a great 1 year trip that there was a lot of self-discovery there.
Yep.
And also thirdly, there was a lot of growth and in a sense where I found the value of a business education to be actually really valuable, right? A lot of times, we look at education and say, hey, is this going to really help me in my life when I actually go to work or when I do something on my own? When I was there for my year in Sweden, that is when I realized that, the kind of education that I actually got in my years before going to Sweden, I actually managed to apply quite a bit of the hard skills and more importantly, the soft skills that I picked up from the seminars in business school, from the classes in business school, from my time in the council in business school. And that was 1 year that, hey, what I studied, there was actually quite a bit of value. So it was a great year of self-discovery, a great year of growth, a great year of finding new motivations for myself. So that's what I enjoyed the most.
At the same time, still interning at the same time.
Yes, still working full-time at the same time. I'm still clearing my degree, so I did not have to slow down my graduation because of that.
So interning at an overseas program, but still clearing your modules.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Rainice, yourself?
Actually, Yi-Chen said a lot of things that I wanted to say. So for me, I don't think it's just like one thing or like this one moment. It's really built up in 4 years. So I will also talk about my NOC experience, 1 year long in Shanghai, where I did the same. I interned 4 days and I took like so many modules there. But I think it's not about the modules or being overseas for me. It's more of what I gained from doing so and meeting the people over there, being with like-minded people in NUS Business School in the NOC program. It changed my whole mindset because I was more like risk averse. But now I'm more confident and I'm willing to actually start something. That's why I'm working on my startup. So it gave me confidence. I would say NUS Business School in a whole gave me confidence to actually go ahead with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Rainice and Yi-Chen. I think for myself, it's more going back to our home ground in NUS Business School when I spent a 1 year long kind of tour as vice president together with Yi-Chen to really lead this council that we have in NUS Business. I think we are closing to the end of the session. But just maybe one last quick one, right? So what are some like last minute tips as a student if you put yourself in the shoes of them applying? What tips will you give them? Yi-Chen first, maybe.
I think I've said enough about following, trying to figure out what you want slowly over time, and
Yeah.
just relax. Ask yourself, what do you want? Where do you see yourself? Don't be pressurized by a lot of external forces. They will try to push you somewhere that you do not want to be. But I think more importantly, you will be joining one of the faculties, hopefully it's business school. But regardless of where you go, I think my tip as a university student is really all about time management.
Yep.
Because in university, you have a lot of things to do, a lot of things you want to do, and you realize that things can be quite different. It is more driven by yourself. So just be sure that you plan your time wisely, and always be sure to manage your time well so that you can do as much as you want and still feel happy and fulfilled.
Really?
So I think like what Ishan said, planning is very important. Back to my own story about researching. So do your research, and on a shout out for NUS Business School, go and check out our Facebook page, Instagram page. There are so many school programs and student programs, orientation camps. You won't want to miss it out. Yeah, so go and check out all these things and really plan ahead and research well.
Yeah, I think both of them gave wonderful advice about how you should make your choice. For myself, it's really just pick the one that you'll be happy for, to be honest. I feel like ultimately we make so many choices here and there, and sometimes we might make choices we regret, we make choices that we're happy for, but what's the ultimate goal is just to be happier as a person. So just deep down and just make all those choices, okay? So I think we are coming to the end today, and really I think the sun is also asking me to go, as you can see that whole reflection here. So this really sums up our whole AM session that we have. So if you guys are still interested, we will be having our next program at 5 p.m. and we'll be starting to talk more about the professors. So going back about more like academic portion, if you guys are interested whether NUS can offer you this kind of like teaching styles and sectional seminar styles and what you ultimately think you can learn, stay tuned at 5 p.m. So we'll catch you there. Thank you all so much.
See you.
Bye.